Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and we got another weekly preview for the Washington football team. I got Juan in here. Appreciate him for coming on. Make sure you guys check out his channel, Juan Gotti Talking Sports. Great Washington content as well. So, today we're going to be previewing the game, talking about really important injury update. We got some more news on Terry McLaurin, some other guys as well. Sam Cosmi, Curtis Samuel. We'll talk about that, the players they elevate. And then after that, we'll get into things Washington, keys to victory for the Washington football team. And then, our score predictions. And also, we'll do the WinView picks. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out WinView and, use this link right here. We'll talk about them a little bit more later on in the stream. But, Juan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Excited for tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing really, really good. Got the ALCS on my TV, so that's pretty cool. I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty solid, pretty solid. And yeah, we're also gonna talk about the Sean Taylor stuff later on. And yeah, we'll wait a little bit on that. What's up, three-time Super Bowl champ Skins? What's up, Hassan Moore? What's up, Darius? And what's up, Philip B? Appreciate everyone for coming through to the stream. So let's start off, real quickly with injury updates. So I'll go read off the list, and you can talk about, what stands out to you. So players that are out for Washington: Sam Cosmi, Jared Norris, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Sheriff, Cam Sims. Any of those names stand out to you?
Yeah, Curtis Samuel, and the reason why I say that is because to the point where it's just like, should we maybe consider putting him on IR, short-term IR again, or maybe even season-ending IR? Because it's just like they said that they don't want to keep putting him in the lineup, taking him out, putting him in the lineup, taking him out. They want to make sure he's healthy so he can play. But they're literally doing the opposite of what they said they didn't want to do. Or I guess they're doing what they said they didn't want to do. And it's kind of to the point where it's just like, should we just shut him down? Maybe because it's a growing. And on the injury report, I believe it was a knee or an ankle. So he's dealing with something else too. So it's just like, growing, the only thing that's going to heal it is time. So us just keep trying to practice and push them to see if it's going to work. It's not going to work. So that's the one that really stands out to me. Jared Norris is an underrated one because he's a special teams ace. But I think we should be really good. We still got Khalid Hudson. We still got Troy Ackley. We still got David Mayo. But yeah, that's the big question for me is Curtis Samuel. I'm getting to the point where it's just like, we might have to start thinking about shutting him down for the whole year. And I know a lot of fans don't want to think that, but it's a growing, man. He's a speedster, and that's one of the things that he really needs.
For sure, for sure. And I think, one thing they could do, because I think their bye week is week 9. So I don't know. They could put him on IR until then, or put him on IR and he'll be back maybe the week after the bye or maybe the week after that. Or they could, shut him down without putting him on IR for the next couple weeks, see how he is, and put him back. Because, put him back, see if he can come back, after the bye. Because it's not, you're out for at least 3 games, not 3 weeks. So, like, if they put him on IR, the bye week doesn't count. That's, something that people need to keep in mind. I don't know. I think they should definitely shut him down at least for another couple weeks, probably until after the bye. So he's, and if he's not ready by then he probably won't be ready for the rest of the season. And then maybe at that point, if it's week 10, week 11, and he's still dealing with this, then maybe you do have to shut him down. And it's unfortunate because we saw, even in a limited sample size in that Falcons game, what he added to this offense. The motion, the attention that he got, and the attention that was off of Terry McLaurin because he did that, and he also converted like 3 first downs, so he was valuable. One other name, Sam Cosmi being out sucks. I mean, he's been probably our best offensive lineman this year, if not best, probably second best. Our offensive line has been really, really good this year, and they're probably once these guys get back, Sheriff and Cosmi, it's probably going to be even better because this line has 3 new starters from last year to this year, and it usually takes a while for these guys to gel. They already did, and I think they're going to get better and better as the season goes on. But Sam Cosmi with that ankle injury, really, really unfortunate because he was playing really, really well. He was
Yeah.
playing really well.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Now I was just about to say, yeah, I would go to say that he's probably been our best rookie out of this year's draft class. I mean, when you look
Not
at it,
even a debate.
yeah, Jamin Davis. I don't like what they're doing with him. I feel like he needs to be on the field, whether you think he's ready or not. Third round, De'Ami Brown, you've seen flashes, but he really hasn't been able to get going. Derek Forrest is another guy who hasn't played. Cam Cheeseman, and then you look at the later rounds, like he's been our best rookie without a question. So it is kind of frustrating that he's hurt. It's not too serious, but I mean I seen where he tried to go back in and he couldn't do it. He fell. And that's why we have depth here. That's why I'm really excited. I'm not surprised that this offensive line is actually good because look at the depth we have. Yes, I love Sam Cosman. I want him in there. But man, if he isn't in there, we're good. Like we have Cornelius Lucas, who could very well start left or right tackle for any team. Then you have Wes Schweitzer, who could surprisingly last year. I didn't know how I felt about the signing, but man, did he play his butt off or what last year? He's another guy that could start at left or right guard for any team in this league too. So I'm good as long as Chase Roulier is still good, and as long as Eric Flowers is still good, as long as Charles Leno is still good. I'm okay.
Yeah. It sucks, but I think that the offensive line will hold up at least for the next couple weeks because Sheriff, I think he'll be back next week. If not next week, he'll probably be back the week after that because He missed last week and this week. They said 2 to 3 weeks, so hopefully he's back there. And Cosme, we have no idea, but it's encouraging they haven't put him on IR because usually put a player on IR before the game. So if they don't put him on IR before Sunday, then and it looks like that's not going to happen, then it probably means he's going to be back next week or the week after that. Because if not, it just wouldn't be a smart move for them to make. And I want to talk about what Philip B says. I don't want to say it, but I told you on getting Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa instead. And yeah, my number one choice, like realistic choice, because obviously there's, Micah Parsons. I really wanted him, but it wasn't realistic. He was going to be there at 19. Same thing with like Rashawn Slater and Penny Sewell. But I really, really wanted us to draft Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa. I wanted us to draft a linebacker or a tackle. And we did that with our first 2 picks, which I really liked. But I wanted Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa just because of his versatility, and he's just a demon on the field. You could tell that from his Notre Dame tape, and he's been really good so far with the Browns. And I need to say that, obviously it's only been 5 weeks. It's only been 5 weeks. Who knows? In 2 seasons, Jamin Davis could be an all-pro, and Uso-Koromoa could be not a great starter. It's unlikely that both of those things happen, but it could happen. I think Jamin Davis will get better. Obviously, he's going to need to get better. And I think they need to play him more. Like you said, he should not be – there is no reason David Mayo and Khaleke Hudson should be getting snaps over Jamin Davis. Like, that's ridiculous. Your first-round pick is getting beat out by a 5th-round pick from the year before who's primarily a special teamer, and another guy who doesn't play on the field. He's a special teamer, and that is concerning. So if he plays like 15 snaps this week, that is really, really concerning and disappointing because I think he does need to go on the field because and I don't agree, but even if he is worse than David Mayo or Khaleke Hudson, it is not that much worse, and you might as well put him on the field to develop him. And I don't think he's worse than those 2. I think he needs some more time, and it's crazy that Bostic goes down. You think Jamin Davis's playing time is going to go way up, and it goes way down. Partly because they did play Landon Collins in the box a little bit more, which I do like. I do like that. But yeah, we'll see. And another thing Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa does, he's a safety linebacker hybrid, so that would help our safety position as well. But yeah, how are you feeling about Jamin Davis? Are you super concerned? And then also about Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa. Real quick, one thing I forgot to say that I needed to say is the reason Jeremiah Uso-Koromoa fell to the second round. He had a heart issue. So some teams, maybe Washington, just took him off the board because of that. Not saying it's a smart thing or, it is smart, but that's what a lot of teams did, and that's why he fell to the second round. Because if not, he probably would have been a 10 to an 18 to 20 player picked.
Yeah. And we talked about this months ago when we did the draft on my channel. We wanted to take Jeremiah Koromoa. I wanted him or Zayvon Collins. Jamin Davis didn't even cross my mind, but they weren't there in our simulation, so we took Elijah Vera Tucker. And with Koromoa, it doesn't surprise me. But one thing that Jamin Davis has over all these linebackers is upside. These guys, you can see their ceiling already. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it's no more way they can get better than what they're doing now, but their upside isn't what Jamin Davis' upside is. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even seen with the best of Jamin Davis, and that's what we knew we were getting ourselves into. He's raw. He has a lot of untapped potential. That's because he only started 1 year at Kentucky, which was last year, and that was due to his teammate getting an unfortunate, I want to say stroke or something like that. So we have not seen nearly the finished product of Jamin Davis. And no, I'm not concerned about the pick. I'm more concerned about his playing time because he's your first round pick, like you said. There's no reason why Khalid Hudson, David Mayo should be getting more snaps than Jamin Davis. No reason he should be playing 13 snaps. I don't care if he's not ready. If he's not ready, the best way to get him ready is experience. So put him out there, let him learn, let him play. I hate learning from the sideline. He's not a quarterback 1 and 2, even if he was a quarterback, you still should just throw him out there and let him learn, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a linebacker. How worse could it be? It can't be no more worse than John Bostic, Jared Norris, David Mayo, even Cole Holcomb, who's been picking it up lately. So it's not concerning from the standpoint of the pick. I like the pick, but I'm more so concerned of how poorly the coaching staff is treating him and treating this pick.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some more snaps. Let's read some of the comments. What's up, Jairus? What's up, Ali? What's up, RHS? What's up, One Life Music? Appreciate everyone coming through. What's up, Water is Good? RHS says, Pedro, can you tell me why Heineke gets all the hate when he's literally one of the few players that makes the team exciting to watch this season? What I'll say with Heineke is he does make it exciting to watch. And, in the games we won, he was the main reason we did win those games, but I think people can tell that there are a little bit of, there are limitations with Heineke. He just doesn't have sometimes enough zip on it. Like he's good at reading things, and then he'll make the right read. He just doesn't have enough zip on it to get it to Terry McLaurin. I mean, there was a few times where he's not wide open, but he's open, and Heineke can't get it to him because he just doesn't have the arm strength, and it's unfortunate because he has a lot of other traits that you really like. He just doesn't have that, even average arm strength. So that's one of the limitations with Heineke. But I do, and you can tell, like the two good defenses we played, he struggled a little bit, and the defenses that were not so great, he really, really played well in, and I think he's going to play well in this game. But I just don't necessarily think he's like a full-time starter. Maybe he is, but I definitely think that Washington's franchise guy is not on this roster. I think they'll either have to, go for one via trade or, in a draft. What do you think, Juan?
Yeah, so about Heineke, the reason why he gets so much hate is, one, he's in DC media. He's in DC media, who is one of the, most critical medias in the world. Secondly, he's the quarterback of the Washington football team. I know our fan base is checked out, but we're still here. We're still one of the most loyalist fan base in NFL. We're still one of the most biggest fan base in the world. So he gets a lot. I don't think he gets a lot of hate, actually. At least that's just my opinion. I think the hate that he gets, I can't say hate because I haven't seen him really get hate. Like me personally, I haven't seen him get hate. Maybe criticism, and the criticism he's got is so rightfully deserved because in the two, I want to say 2 or 3. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I know we lost 3 games, but I'm trying to see. Bills game he played terrible, and the night game, the Saints game he played terrible. Should have won that game. And then our other loss versus the Chargers, he played good. So I would say out of the two out of 3 games he played that we lost in, the 2 of them was really his fault. Last game we couldn't win because Heineke was there. Heineke just played terrible. He had wide open receivers. He was making poor decisions. Are you kidding me? That pick to Curtis Samuel in the red zone. You have 3 points secured, if anything, and you're gonna throw that. The pass to DeAndre Carter. The Bills and the Saints games are the reasons why he's getting this hate. If you're saying hate, I haven't seen him getting it, but if it is the reason, if he is getting hate, that's the reason. So with Heineke, I'm not done assessing him, so I can't say if he's a backup in this league. He's a backup for sure, but I'm saying I don't know if that's his ceiling. I don't know if he could be a low-end starter yet. I don't know. I'm not done assessing him these last games with Ryan Fitzpatrick before Ryan Fitzpatrick comes back. Because if he doesn't win these next couple of games, even if he does, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter when he comes back from that hip fixation. So these next few games are key for him. But I think Heineke will be fine, man. I'm not really stressing too much.
Yeah, I mean, I still would like to see him for a few more weeks. Just to see if he can play well against any good defenses. Because he did play really well against the Bucks, but I want to see him do that with teams that have film on him. But he's at the very least a really, really, really good backup to have because he can obviously you like your starter more because he is your starter, but you're comfortable having Heineke play 3 or 4 games because the teammates love him. He can get you some points. I mean, our offense has been good this year. So I like Heineke, but I do think that there are limitations with him. And, we still need to find our franchise guy. But I do like Heineke as a backup. And, he has been able to stay healthy so far. So that is good. So Redskin 007, appreciate the $5 donation, says, our last 7 games are all winnable. If we can go 2-3 in our next 5 and 5-7 in our last 7, that will put us at 9-8. Let's see. I mean, 2-3 in our next. It's just tough. It's tough, and who do they? Their next 5 are. They got the Chiefs, Packers, and then I think it's the Bucks, and then Raiders and the Seahawks. I think, or also they have the Broncos. So I mean, 2-3 is going to be tough. 2-3 is going to be tough. I think they could beat the Broncos. I think they could beat the Raiders and the Seahawks. If Russell Wilson's out by that point, we can definitely beat them. But I mean, it's going to be tough. Our defense is going to have to be much, much better if we want to, win. If we want to go 2-3 in our next 5.
Yeah, I personally think 9-8. That's why I said shake my head because 9-8 is not going to win. It's the best. It's not going to get a wild card. I hate to say it, but the Cowboys, man, they're looking like a 12+ win team. I hate to say it, but we got to be real here. We got to be honest, 100% here. They look really good. Ezekiel Elliott looks like his 2016 self. Dak Prescott, I mean, he never really fell off, but he proved to a lot of people that the ankle injury isn't nothing. So they look like a really good team. 9-8. I don't think that gives us a chance to win a division, obviously, and I don't think that puts us in a chance to win a wild card. I mean, you look at the NFC, this is probably, I don't know if I want to say the best, but when you look at it, it's pretty stacked. You look at the Cardinals. You look at that whole NFC West division. Even though the Seahawks are 2-3 right now, they're still not out of it when they get Russell Wilson back, which I'm praying. He's my favorite player in the NFL, so I don't like to see him hurt, but I'm praying that he misses just that Monday night game versus us and then comes back that following week. But you look at the NFC West. You see that division. At least 2 of those teams are making it to the playoffs. I would even say 3, probably 3 getting a wild card spot. I don't know about the 49ers. I think maybe the Seahawks could possibly get that spot if they come back, but I don't know. They might be done considering the fact that Geno Smith is their quarterback for the next couple of weeks. Then you look at the NFC South. You don't want to count the Saints out. The Saints, the Bucks. Then you have the Falcons, who are not really in it, but you get my point there. Who else is in that division? Panthers. Panthers is another team that could possibly play for a wild card spot. Then you look at the NFC North. You have the Vikings, you have the Packers, you have the Lions, who are terrible, obviously. But let's before we continue. But the Falcons or the Lions, even though they are on 5, they should at least have 2 wins, maybe even 3. They play themselves out of maybe 3 wins, so they could easily be 3-2. So more of the stories that this NFC division is really really good, or NFC conference as a whole is really really good. So 9-8, it's obviously not going to be enough to win a division, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to win or get a playoff berth.
I mean, I think and I think he meant 5-2 in our last 7, because if we were 5-7, we wouldn't be at 9-8. I think 9-8 could get us a wild card, because I believe the Bears made it at 8-8 last year. So 9-8, it wouldn't definitely be a sure thing, but I think it's definitely possible you make it at 9-8. The only way though that we end up 9-8 is if our defense like drastically gets better. Like our defense, we don't need our defense to be a top 5 defense or even a top 10 defense to win some games this year. We need them just get to average, which if you told me before the season that's where we were, I wouldn't be very happy with that, but average at this point with how our offense is playing, because our offense is playing pretty well, and that's without Logan Thomas, without Curtis Samuel, without Brandon Sheriff last game. We've been injured on the offense, and our offense has been pretty good. So if our offense can keep it up until those guys get back, I think our offense will get even better, and then our defense just needs to get way better if we want to win games. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And if our defense can do that, I mean, I think we'll be able to win games in the NFC East. The Eagles don't really impress me that much. Giants don't as well. It's going to be tough to beat the Cowboys, but you never know. That we could beat them once. I definitely don't see a sweep at all with the Cowboys, but you could win one there. You could beat the Giants again, and you could win one. I mean, you're looking at maybe 3 more wins in the NFC East. That's being very, very optimistic. But if you win 3 games, that puts you at 5, and that means you got to win 3 or 4 more games outside the NFC East, and that's going to be tough. I mean, which games can they win outside the NFC East? Maybe the Broncos, maybe the Seahawks. Seahawks, if Russell Wilson's out, I think they could beat him. They also play the Panthers. I'm trying to think of, do they have any easy games outside the NFC East remaining?
I wouldn't say none of the games we play are easy, especially with us. None of the games we have on the schedule is easy. Even the 5 that we already played. We're not a team that can look at the schedule and say easy games.
Yeah, for sure. Let me go through this. So we play the Chiefs, Packers, Broncos, Bucks, and then the Panthers, Seahawks, Raiders. So yeah, I mean, we're going to have to win 3 games at least outside of the NFC East, and that's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make the playoffs, you're going to have to do that. Win 3 games outside of the NFC East, and then also at minimum win 3 games in the NFC East remaining, and then maybe you have a chance, but you're still going to be at 8 wins then, so you're probably going to have to get 1 more. Let's see. What's up, Rio? Make sure you guys check
What's going on, Rio?
1K subscribers.
Yep.
Congrats to you right there. What's up, Armin Brown? EJW for president says, should Jack Del Rio be fired? So I think no right now, just because there's really no point. They're not going to change their whole defensive system in the middle of the season. So it's not going to be really accomplishing much. But maybe, if this defense is as bad right now at the end of the season, or if it's like somewhere ranked in the 20s, then that's where you consider moving on from Jack Del Rio. But I think at the moment, you probably don't do it.
Yeah, no. I'm not firing Jack Del Rio. I understand he hasn't been the best, but it's been the players too. So I'm keeping Jack. You know what I'm saying? Even next year, I'm keeping Jack. You know what I'm saying? If next year goes bad for this defense, then you may say, "Hey, Jack, you may have to leave." But I'm not giving up on Jack in year 2, and we're still kind of early in the season. You know what I'm saying? I know it's getting old fast, but no, I'm not giving up on Jack. I'm not firing him, no, especially not now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah, it's tough. And what do you think about Scott Turner? Like, I know it's very, like, this fan base is very bipolar on Scott Turner. Some people like him and some people just hate him. Like, some people, no matter what happens, if the offense scores 37 points, they still don't like him. They point out one play out of the game and say, "Oh, he should have done this." And I mean, you can point out from the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, even when they score 40, there's a couple plays where they mess up on. And yeah, so what do you think about Scott Turner? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Or are you a little bit in the middle?
Yeah, so for me, I'm really, really hard on Scott Turner, so that can come off that I don't like him. I like Scott Turner, but again, I'm hard on him, so it don't sound like I do, but I do. He's really, really good. And when you watch some of these games back, he's calling some good stuff, man. As much as I like Heineke, he still doesn't have that quarterback that he can rely on to really, really, go out there and be that dude that execute his offense how he wants it. So I really, really like Scott Turner. I don't like his 2-point, play calling, and we're still terrible at that. I believe we're like 0-9 on 2-point conversions or something like that. It's terrible. Other than that, I really, really like Scott Turner. And another thing, the Broncos are looking at I guess their contingency plan. I guess after they move on from Big Fangio, and Scott Turner is on that list. So I know you may be like, "What? Scott Turner for head coach?" And I'm telling you, man, young offensive minded. He's really, really, really good. And once he get this quarterback situation figured out, I think you'll start to see him, really, really how good his offense can be. Because I'm telling you, man, he's drawing up some good stuff. He's not always good. One thing I don't like about Scott Turner outside of 2-point conversions is him being predictable a lot of times and his situational play calling. This is my biggest pet peeve with him. And if you watch my streams on game days, you guys know I hate when he runs it or he throws it on 1st and 10 and it's an incomplete pass, then he runs it on 2nd and 10, and if that doesn't go nowhere, now you're set up in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, maybe even 3rd and 10, maybe even 3rd and longer after you didn't go nowhere. So I hate when he does that. If you want to run the ball, do it on 1st down, and then however that goes, if it's 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, however, or even if a big run, now you're set up. Now you can pass, but I just don't like when he runs it on 2nd down after an incomplete pass. That really hurts me. But other than that, I really like Scott Turner, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, maybe in a year or two, he becomes a head coach. I'm telling you, he has the upside to do it, man. He fits this era of football, young offensive-minded head coaches.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing is that someone pointed out this is a couple weeks ago, but I mean, if you look at all the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, what do they all have in common? Great quarterbacks. And I mean, we don't have a great. I know some people love Heineke, but I don't think he's the answer. Yeah, I mean, there's just like the offensive coordinator can only do so much. Like, he can't complete the pass. He can't make the block. Like, there's just sometimes where, I mean, like, he'll drop a really nice play and then someone will miss a block, or Heineke will make the wrong read, or he'll just miss the throw. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 times last week where the receiver's wide open and Heineke just throws a lollipop there, and the defender has 3 seconds to get a pass breakup. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore was good. Don't get me wrong, but he was made a lot better. He looked a lot better because Heineke was throwing the ball a little bit late. So I mean, it's not. Yeah, I'm not a huge Scott Turner fan. Like, there's some things, like you said, where I think he needs to work on. 2-point conversions, I've said this for a while. I said it last year, in the middle of last year. He needs to work on that. I think he needs to use the running backs better. Like, I think that Gibson should be getting more carries. He got more carries last game, which is good. But also, he needs to get him and McKissick, they need to get more touches as a pass catcher. Gibson especially. I mean, he's getting like 1.5, 2 targets a game, which is very, very low. I mean, you want him to have the ball in his hands, especially in open space, and they haven't done that enough. They haven't done that enough. And then same thing with McKissick. I mean, there's games where he doesn't get enough. He doesn't get the ball enough, and I think he needs the running backs should probably get like 15 targets a game. I really do think so. Even Patterson can be a solid pass catcher as well. He got like an 11-yard catch either last game or the week before that. So those are my things with Scott Turner. And yeah, just a quick break right here. Make sure you guys check out Juan. Great Washington YouTuber posting content all the time. He's going to be doing a stream tomorrow for the game, bring you guys play by play. So make sure you guys check that out. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, and yeah, follow me or subscribe to me as well. Follow my Twitter as well. And then also make sure you guys check out WinView. Just a quick background on WinView, the nation's leading sports predictor, allowing you to compete in pregame or live contests. You basically answer 8 questions about each game before it begins, or play in quarter-long contests while you're watching the game. New users get a first-time deposit bonus of up to $200, and you can play your first $20 risk-free. So make sure you guys check them out. They got some really nice contests that you can free contests, and also some contests where you got to put some money in. Let's see. Let me see. Tom Brady had a noodle arm, but he improved as his career went on. I mean, Tom Brady, I wouldn't say he had a noodle arm. I mean, he never had the best arm strength, but he still could sling that thing, and he was always great. But I mean, we'll see. I know some people love Heineke, and I'm still giving him a few more weeks. I mean, there's Fitzpatrick isn't coming back this week or next week, even though, yeah, I mean, I think give Heineke a couple more weeks, and if he isn't doing great, then maybe you switch to Fitzpatrick if we're losing and Heineke is the reason for that. But also, I mean, I want to see a game or two this year where our defense saves Heineke. Like our defense has not helped out Heineke this whole year. This whole year, it's been the games we won. It's because of our offense. So I want a game where our defense wins us the game. We need that to happen. Hopefully, it'll be this week against the Chiefs, but I don't think so with how bad the defenses are. Philip B, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. He says, I got 2 things. One, the coaches are rebuilding. Like Rio said, can't blame the hype from last year to catch up to us. 2, Heineke is basically a rookie, old one, seeing other players on their 8th game compared. Yeah, I mean, I still want to see more from Heineke. Like, I think he does. We should give him a little bit more time, but at the same time, like I feel like the maximum amount of time you give him before you evaluate him is the end of the season, because you have to know going into the offseason if your franchise quarterback is on the roster, because if not, then you got to be aggressive in free agency, in the draft, and any other offseason trades that happen. So we'll see. I think Heineke definitely has talent, but he's got to show up against some of these big defenses. I think the Chiefs defense obviously isn't great, but I think he's gonna ball out against them. And then yes, we're still rebuilding, and I mean winning that division last year really, I think, increased our expectations for this team. I really think it did. And I still am happy we won the division, even though we got a way harder schedule. I think that experience was great, and we got to win the division. It's unfortunate, but we are still rebuilding. And I definitely didn't think we would be this bad defensively, and I don't think that's going to be sustainable. I think we will get better, but we have to get significantly better. And I think, I mean, we got to make some changes on defense. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But man, appreciate the $20 donation. Helps out the channel a ton. You're the guy. You're the man, Philip B. But Juan, I mean, our defense, and I promise you guys, we'll get into the game. We'll just do a little bit of a shorter preview. But our defense, like, it's disappointing, and they really haven't made many changes. And one thing that I think is criminal, is why is Cameron Curl not playing strong safety? Like, he should be playing the position where in his rookie year, he balled out. He's been fine at free safety. Like, he's been good. Don't get me wrong. But he was better at strong safety last year. And I just really think he should be playing strong safety. And Landon Collins should not be getting playing time over him. I liked what we did last week, putting Landon Collins in the box more. But the couple times we didn't put him on the box, the one time was a 72-yard touchdown, and the other one was a Hail Mary. So I honestly, if I see Landon Collins on Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelsey this game, I might just turn off the game, because there should not be a single time where Landon Collins is lining up against any of those. Because if he does, it's Patrick Mahomes might have just throw it right there. I mean, he's just one of the worst coverage safeties in the league. There's no reason to put him out there in coverage, especially against guys like that. Put him in the box a little bit more. He's better in the run game, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, hate is a strong word, but I don't care. I hate Landon Collins. You guys know that. I was a big fan. I wouldn't say I was a big fan of the signing, but I was excited about it. Obviously, when you see a guy that had an all-pro season and that's getting paid humongous money, you're going to be excited. And that's the big reason why I hate Landon Collins, is because he getting paid all this money to play like some trash, bro. Like, it's annoying, and I hate him. I cannot wait till we cut him. He is so bad. I could go out there and play a deep blue better than him. He's terrible, man. He's slow. He's no good, man. Like, we need to let go of him. And he basically did what Josh Norman did. He got a free $85 million off of us. So did Josh Norman, man. And we're known for that. I hate Landon Collins. He's terrible. He needs to be on the field. I need to see Cameron Curl on the field at all times.
And yeah, I mean, Landon Collins, John Bostic, those guys are the main reason why I don't stream games, because they just get me way too upset, and I cannot be showing that on a live broadcast, because those guys get me saying not great stuff. Landon Collins it's not good with Landon Collins. And, William Jackson, like, he hasn't been great this year, but at least he has an excuse. He's learning a totally new system that's very, very different from what he did in Cincinnati. And, it's going to take him time. But, honestly, coverage-wise, he hasn't been terrible. It's just that he's had some very unfortunate penalties every single game. So that's something that will get fixed. I think William Jackson will be better. And I think Kendall Fuller also, he's going to be better. Like the first 4 weeks of the season, I've never seen him play that bad. That's not sustainable. And he played better last week. So I think he's going to get better. I'm not too worried about our corners, honestly. I think that will get fixed. What won't get fixed is our safeties, in my opinion, especially Landon Collins. He should not be out there unless he's as a linebacker. And Bobby McCain, I'm getting sick of him too, because his problems is miscommunication, but also mistackling. And that is not something that, you can give an excuse of it's a new system. That's just him being bad at tackling, missing open field tackles. And I think Ron should make a change. I mean, if it's this, it's going to be bad this week because we do play the Chiefs, but I would really consider making a change. DeShazer Everett, Jeremy Reeves. I mean, it can't be as bad as what it is right now. So that's what I would say right there. So we're going to do our WinView picks in a little bit, but since we talked a lot, kind of ranted, but any keys to victory that you have that we need to, keys to victory for us to win this week?
Yeah, but before we get into that, I want to say shout out to Savage Kelly. Says, "What's up, 1G and Pistol Pedro? Thank you for keeping up information on the daily like y'all do. I follow and watch all of y'all content. It's much appreciated, gentlemen. Thank you, Savage Killer. That means a lot. And thank you everyone else that's in here. First key to victory, and not to harp on Landon Collins anymore, but before we get into the keys to victory, I wonder if Rio's still in here. I'm not sure. But like Rio said in his video, I'm done drinking. I'm done drinking the Kool-Aid and caring about training camp because I was a guy, and I still do. Obviously, you guys know that. But I was a guy that did not like Landon Collins coming into the season. But I let people get to my head about because I wasn't there at training camp, so I was hearing the people that were there at training camp say, "Oh my God, Landon Collins looks like this. He looks fast." Blah blah blah. And you get into the game and he's terrible. Like I thought he was gonna be, and I expected him to be. So I hate Landon Collins, man. I hate him. Oh, what?
So no, just one thing, because I know you're going to talk about keys to victory, but I just wanted to add on to your point about training camp. I've been saying it for a while. Like, I love training camp because it gets us back into football, and it does dictate what the back guys of the roster are. Like, I mean, Torrey McTyer had a great training camp. He made the roster because of that. He played great in the preseason as well. Like, training camp is valuable. And, for some players, like, it can dictate how they're going to play in the season. But, like, I mean, we heard in 2020 before the season started, man, Troy Apke, he looks insane, man. He might be one of our best defenders so far in training camp. And then the first possession of that Eagles game, I tweeted out, I was like, yeah, I'm not believing this training camp stuff anymore because this stuff happens all the time. And Troy Apke, I mean, he was terrible. Obviously, he got benched a few weeks after. So training camp is valuable. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you can't buy into it too much because it's different when you put on those pads and you're going up against different competition because they're going up against the same players every day. So next year, hopefully they do some joint practices, I hope.
Yeah, and again, we'll get into the keys to victory, but like you said, man, we got to stop taking training camp serious. And man, shorts and shelves, it don't matter, bro. It's just practice, man. That, like my man Rio said, I'm done taking training camp serious about the shorts and shelves because you get out here in a real game and they're playing like trash, i.e. Landon Collins. And back to last year for a second, Ron Rivera was so quick to bench Troy Apke. What is taking so long with Landon Collins? So I understand. Probably because he's getting paid $85 million, so you feel like you're forced to play him. No, sit him down. You own that money anyway. The dumb regime, last regime, and you have nothing to do with this, Ron, but the dumb regime signed him. So, hey, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So bench him, put him on special team. That's how bad he is. But getting to my key to victory, the first one is we have to exploit the run game because this Chiefs defense is in the same predicament as us. And KC reporter asked Patrick Mahomes basically essentially what our reporters asked a couple weeks ago, if not a couple weeks ago, it's probably this week. They asked him, do you feel pressure to score a lot of points considering the fact how bad the defense is? So they're in the same boat as us. As our offenses are the ones that's carrying the load. And no, their defense didn't have the expectations as our defense, but you see similarities. So their defense could get gashed in the air and on the ground. So we need to exploit that run game. We need to stick to the run game. Antonio Gibson had a solid day, but we kind of went away from the run game. They're missing their best and only pass rusher that really scares you is Chris Jones, man. So we need to take advantage of this defense and more importantly, that run game.
Out.
Yep, he's out with I want to say it was a wrist injury. So we need to exploit this run game, man. So in the run game, and it's going to set up some play actions, get Taylor Heinicke out the pocket, get him on the move. That's when he's at his best, is when he's out the pocket and he's on the move, and he's not trying to be in the pocket and stick to being a pocket passer, which we know he's not. So key number one for me is to exploit that defensive line and exploit this run game.
Yeah, I agree. Savage Killer says, or he's asking about Landon. I mean, I think at this point, like, you saw him in the system like 7 weeks last year. You've seen him for a while this year. I would consider moving him down to linebacker like they did last week and just keep him there. Keep him there. You know you're going to move on from him after this year. That's what I would do. Another key to victory, I mean, you have to I don't know. I was going to say something about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey, but I mean, you're not going to be able to stop those guys. I mean, especially with our secondary. But I think we got to be disciplined. I mean, you're not going to win against the Chiefs when you're making these silly penalties and you're just bailing them out on, offense by doing a roughing the passer, a pass interference, anything, a holding, anything on an offense too. When you start off in bad field position, that kills you. That really, really kills you. I mean, honestly, I said this one after the game against the Saints. I honestly think that if the Saints punter had an average day against us, we would have won the game because he literally just killed us. I mean, he had 3 punts, at least 3 punts inside the 3 yard line. One of those, I mean, it was one of those was right before halftime. And if we would have gotten at the 20, we would have tried to score. But since we're at the 2 yard line, or maybe even was the one, I think it was the one, we're just trying to give our punter some room. So because of that, we ended up punting. They get the Hail Mary at the end of the first half. I think if we get the ball at the 20, we're probably trying to move the ball down the field, and maybe we end up scoring there. And then he did it in the second half as well, and Heineke threw an interception in the back of the end zone. So that punter really killed us, and that just shows how important field position is. So you can't back yourself up on you can't have a stupid block in the back penalty on special teams where you're moved back a bunch. So that's one for me. What's up, Tap King 13? Appreciate you coming in. What's up, David Smith? Brad, appreciate you guys coming through. He's got I don't know if it's a fantasy football question or if it's just a question in general. Who would you rather have, DeAndre Swift or Joe Mixon? I mean, I think I would probably go with DeAndre Swift just because he's younger and Joe Mixon is just so injury prone. But if that's for tomorrow, I would probably also go with, I don't know, it's tough. Both those guys are good options. If you're deciding between those two, that's really good. But I mean, DeAndre Swift has been pretty consistent this year, so maybe I would go with him.
For me, fantasy or not, I'm going with Joe Mixon. He is so much better. He is criminally underrated, and he does it to himself because he never can stay healthy. But if he could, he would be a top 5 running back in the NFL. He is so good from the standpoint of being able to run the ball and catching out the backfield. So I would personally go with Joe Mixon, but it's totally up to you. I'm not even sure if he's playing, and that says something because he's always hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. In fantasy, like, I mean, if a guy gets out early on, it just kills you. But yeah, I mean, we don't have that. I mean, I don't want to do too many keys to victory because we kind of talked a lot earlier. But I mean, we're gonna have to find a way to somewhat limit Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey. And I mean, Tyreek Hill's questionable, but it looks like he's gonna play. But it would have just been nice if Tyreek Hill was out because then you can put way more attention on Travis Kelsey. Now you put some safety help over the top on Hill, well, it's going to be way easier for Kelsey to get open because I mean, he doesn't have that many deep, receptions, but he definitely can. He definitely can get you a 20 plus yard catch. So, I mean, you just have to find some way to limit those guys because besides those guys, they really don't have anyone that scares you. I mean, McCall Hardman could kill us just because he could just not break one, but he could just beat one of our corners deep, especially with our, busted coverages. So that's someone that, to keep your eye out for. But yeah, we got to, be able to limit those guys. And I would say, got to feed Antonio Gibson the ball this week. Get the ball to your best playmakers, Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin. That is what I would do against the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. I would say my score prediction for the game is 37-30. Chiefs, obviously, I think the Chiefs are a much better team than us, but it's hard to, have blowout wins when your defense is as bad as their defense is. So that's why I don't think it will be a blowout because I think our offense will score enough points, but I think at the end of the day, our defense will let us down again.
Wow. 30, you said 30-37 or 36?
37-30.
I don't know about that, me personally, because this defense doesn't give me no faith. That's the best case scenario. But realistically, I'm going 36-19. We're not going to win this game. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to be cheering that I'm wrong. I don't want, what is the word here? I never wanted to be so wrong more in my life. But let's be real here. Defense hasn't given you no confidence. Heineke is coming off a bad game, which he typically follows up with a good game, so I guess that's a plus. But I mean, everything is trending into the direction of a win. but I don't want to hold my breath because if you look at it, Sean Taylor, I guess they want to play for Sean Taylor, something like that. All this turmoil, they want to possibly, use as motivation. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we won, but who am I kidding? It's not going to happen. Wouldn't be surprised if we get blown out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we were blown out or if we, yeah, or if we win, honestly. But I just think that their defense is so bad. They're allowing 33 points a game, and they've struggled against mobile quarterbacks. And Heineke obviously is a mobile quarterback. I think Heineke's gonna have a big day. I really do. I mean, he struggled against the Bills and the Saints, pretty good defenses, but the Chargers, Giants, and Falcons, three not great defenses he's played well against. I think we're going to have a good day offensively, but it's not going to be enough to win. But I think we'll score 24 plus points pretty easily in this game. Still have us losing, but I think we will put up somewhat of a fight. We'll see. So I'm going to real quick. We're going to pull up WinView. We're going to do some questions, and I want everyone in the chat to answer as well. And me and Juan will answer as we go along. But we did elevate AGG and David Steinmetz to the active roster. You guys, you think he's going to have an impact on AGG? Because he's probably going to get some snaps because of our lack of depth at the receiver position.
Yeah, he'll get some plays, but I don't think he's going to be an impact.
Yeah, I agree with that. And someone asked about our offensive line. It looks like Sam Cosme is out for this game, and Sheriff as well is out. So we're going to do these questions, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the Sean Taylor situation. That's what we'll do. So, Juan, let's go ahead and get started again. Make sure you guys check out WinView. I'll put the link in the chat, also in the description as well. So the first question, this is easy for me, but I know you disagree. But Washington scores 21 points or more in this game. I'm saying yes. I know you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we will. But that's just my score prediction, 36-19 or something like that. But I think we will. I think we'll score more than 21 points.
All right, so I'm going to make that pick, and everyone in the chat put that in as well. Let's see. Kansas City wins the game by 7 or more points.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that. I have it at a 7-point game, so that puts that right there. Let's put that on there. And yeah, if you guys want, just check it out, and we can do a league and come up with a prize at the each week or at the end of the year. Just let me know. So both teams combine to score 55 or more points in the game. So that's 27.5 points for each team. I'm going to go yes on that one. I think it will be a high scoring game. I think both will be able to, I think we'll both be able to score a decent amount.
Yeah, I do too. I think we're gonna probably, I've had us predicting scoring 19. That's probably a little too low, but I do think we're gonna score quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, next one. Patrick Mahomes passes for 2 or more touchdowns and rushes for 10 or more yards in the game.
Oh, yeah. I hope not, but come on now, that's easy. I hope
against
not,
this defense, yeah. Washington records more rushing yards than the Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, I'm gonna say yes on this one because we got Gibson, and they don't have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I don't think is a huge loss, but he's out. But also, I mean, our run defense has been solid. Our pass defense has been terrible. So, I mean, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm attacking our secondary, not our defensive line. So I would, I think, I mean, definitely wouldn't be super surprised if, the Chiefs had more rushing yards than us, but I'm going to put us having more rushing yards than them. And I think Heineke will also have a solid day on the ground as well. So, and everyone's putting yes for that one in the chat. So next one, both Tyreek Hill and Mclaurin combined to record 13 or more total receptions. So I'm gonna say no on that one, just because that's 6.5 catches for each of them. Tyreek Hill usually just has these big plays, and Mclaurin, I think he'll have a big day, but you never know. There's games where he has like 4 catches. There's games where he has like 10 catches, but so there's sometimes where it isn't. So I'm gonna go no on that one.
I personally would go yes because when you look at it, they're going to try to abuse Tyreek Hill, and it's not necessarily saying they have to get 6 apiece. As long as they just find a way to combine for 13 catches, right? Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as they find a way to combine for 13 catches, I think they will. Whether it's 6 and 7 or 6 and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll find a way to combine for 13 catches. Especially with Terry going up against L'Jarius Sneed or so, at least that's their best corner. I know they're missing Tavarius Ward, so I think Terry could be in for a big day because their secondary is really trash outside of Tyrann Mathieu. So I could see this being a big day for Terry, even if it's not. I think they still find a way to combine for 13 receptions. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but I definitely would not be surprised. So either team records 2 or more rushing touchdowns. I mean, I think either team recording 1 or recording 2. I mean, we both think this is gonna be, somewhat of a high-scoring game, at least for one of the teams. You have the Chiefs scoring a ton. I have both teams scoring a ton. So, I mean, I think one of the teams will definitely have 2 or more rushing touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So we got a few more here. Both teams combined to attempt 5 or more field goals in this game. I don't know. I think that definitely. I think we'll attempt probably like 2 field goals in the game. The only
Oh yeah. Oh,
thing is, our red zone defense is decent, especially but it's actually been okay this year. And the Chiefs are definitely going to be able to move the ball on us like a bunch. They're going to. And the question is, I mean, they're probably going to get stopped a couple of times in the red zone and have to, kick a field goal. What do you think? Do both teams combine to attempt 5 or more field goals?
Nah. 5 or more, I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's combined. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say I'll go no on this one. I'll go no, but it is tough for me on that one. Both teams combined to score 21 or more points at in any quarter of the game. I mean, I feel like that definitely could happen, just because like the Chiefs will just go on a crazy run, and I think Washington in that could score a touchdown. So 21 points doesn't seem too far fetched.
I was thinking no at first, but yeah, I think so. I think at random times, the Chiefs could, score 21 with ease, and with us chipping in, yeah, I agree with that. I actually think so.
Yes. So, let's see. Okay. Travis Kelsey records 75 or more total yards. I'm saying yes on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna have a field day unless Cameron Curl's arm the whole game. If that's the case, then we'll see. So those were the questions right there. Again, make sure you guys go ahead and check out WinView. Just got to answer those, 8 to 10 questions before every game, and you get a first time deposit bonus of up to $200, and you can play your first $20 risk free. Make sure you guys check them out. Let's see. So now let's talk about the Sean Taylor situation. I think everyone is happy that his jersey is getting retired. It's just the timing of it is a little bit weird, and everything that happens, them announcing it 3 days before. And I agree with Sergio. I said this the day it happened, is that as badly as they planned it, like it was terrible planning and possibly, trying to use it as a distraction. I think the focus on Sunday should be Sean Taylor, honoring his legacy, what he did when he was here and honoring his family as well, not talking about how badly they mishandled this.
Yeah, I do too. I think obviously they're gonna talk about it. But I think this day is just to be celebrated for Sean Taylor. This is something that should have happened, maybe 5, 10 years ago. This was probably one of the would have been. And I'm saying this, and I never seen Sean Taylor play, and that's unfortunate because I know I missed a lot. But Sean Taylor would have been the greatest Redskin in history or Washington football team player in history. Let's just be real here. I understand Darryl Green, John Riggins, uh, Art Monk, all those guys. All due respect, those are guys are Washington greats. But we know Sean Taylor would have been the greatest Redskin player of his. Oh my bad, I keep saying Redskin, but
I think I
Washington.
mean I think it's fine. I mean he played he didn't play for the Washington football team.
Yeah, but he would have been the greatest Washington football team player in history. So I think it's just a day to share light on him, and it's unfortunate, man, because the guy would have definitely been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and people said he would have been the greatest safety of all time. So, and that's for all NFL. So it's very unfortunate. And Philip B says 36-21. How if that does happen and we win? Sean Taylor is smiling down and has some type of good juju on us. If that happens, 36-21, that would be
Ye-
crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the, jersey retirement brings into question like now who else is going to get retired because they only have three numbers now when Sean Taylor's jersey gets retired. Three numbers that are retired. Sean Taylor, Sammy Baugh and Bobby Mitchell. And I mean, there's some great players that should their jersey should be retired because the thing is, it's like, come on, you're not like Dan Snyder has protected jerseys. These jerseys players aren't supposed to use, so you might as well retire them. I mean, and especially before some of these guys pass away. Like the thing is, Bobby Mitchell, great thing that they did it, but they did it the year after he passed away. Like Sonny Jurgensen, he should get his jersey retired soon. And there's some other guys that I think deserve jersey retirements. Getting their jersey retired as well. I mean, John Riggins, Darryl Green. I mean, those guys are great, great players that do deserve to get their jersey retired. And again, unfortunate situation. I don't have a Sean Taylor jersey. I do have a Sean Taylor like kind of like hoodie, so I might be wearing that tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, it's kind of hot, too hot to wear, but we'll see. I might end up wearing that tomorrow. Let's see. Everyone's putting their favorite Sean Taylor memories in there. Let's see. Favorite memory. Philip B said favorite memory of his was when he got that interception on Brett Favre. That broke the record for most interceptions. Let's see. Sergio says we need to score at least 21 points and have something prepared. I think that's good too. I want to also. I think they put out like the schedule for everything, and I know some people don't. We don't know, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that out in a little bit. Favorite memory of the sweep against the Cowboys when his Molly whopped the running back and caused a fumble would have been a legal hit. I mean, almost all of his hits would have been legal today. Let's see. So I want to real quick read what is going to happen tomorrow. They have something planned pre-game and something halftime as well. Okay. So at 12:45, Sean Taylor pregame recognition, tribute video shared on all the platforms, and then halftime will be the jersey retirement. So that'll be live on Twitter and YouTube. So I don't think maybe I don't whoever's broadcasting the game, if it's Fox or CBS, maybe they'll show it on TV, but you might have to go to YouTube or Twitter to watch it. Just a heads up right there. That's just a heads up. I'm looking forward to it. Really unfortunate how it was handled. I mean, 3 days before. I mean, that's really, really, really fishy. And it's unfortunate. And his brother even said on the radio that he didn't know until 4 days ago. So, I mean, that's really fishy. I think all along they were planning to do something for Sean Taylor this weekend. I think it was something about like Sean Taylor Road, But I think that the idea of the jersey retirement probably came up last week or this week. I don't know. We'll see. Well, who knows? Who knows? That's just my thing right there. Isaac Hodges says, "What's up, Juan and Pedro? Appreciate you coming through." Isaac, he says, "How would you guys feel if Fitzpatrick came back and we still went with Heineke?" I mean, that would just depend on how Heineke's playing. If he's playing well and we're winning, there's no reason to bring Fitzpatrick back. But if he's struggling, the team isn't winning, then that's maybe when you put in Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, me personally, if Fitzpatrick came back and they were still starting Heineke, I wouldn't be I would be fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want Fitzpatrick here in the first place, so I would be fine with it. Obviously if he's playing terrible, terrible, terrible to the point where he's not giving us a chance to win, then you put Fitzpatrick in. But if they're just rolling with Heineke just because they feel like he gives us a better chance to win, and he has proved that he's not the reason we're losing, then you continue to roll with him. But again, if he's like the sole reason we're losing and we just can't win with him, then you put Fitzpatrick back in.
Yeah, and I agree with Sergio. Thank God that Landon Collins never got 21. I mean, he would have just I don't think anyone deserved 21. Like, no one deserved to wear 21 again. But if someone was going to wear it, it should have been a great player, and good thing that Landon Collins did not get to wear 21. I mean, that would have just been a disgrace.
Yeah, I was, even, Daniel Snyder considering it was just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's good that his jersey is getting retired, and no one will ever wear it. And I think some other guys should get retired as I mean, some other players' jerseys should get retired as well. Daryl Green, John Riggins, and Sonny Jurgensen. I think those guys those guys should get their jersey retired. So I think we're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. So any questions you guys have, or also I want to hear any guys you guys think their jersey should also get retired. Anything that you have, Juan?
Yeah, Daryl Green should be retired.
Oh, wait, sorry, I totally forgot. Art Monk, Philip B. Yeah, he definitely his jersey should be retired as well.
Art Monk, Daryl Green. Again, I didn't experience the great time, so maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm going off a limb, but Daryl Green, obviously, Mark Monk, maybe John Riggins. No one wears 44 for us, and I don't think no one ever will. So it's like you might as well just put it up there. Doug Williams, no, because obviously we know he did win us a Super Bowl, but he really is probably going. I mean, he probably will be known as a Redskins quarterback because he won a Super Bowl here, but he did play for the Bucks. London Fletcher is another one. Ryan, nah. I was about to say Ryan Kerrigan, but no, maybe Chris Cooley, maybe. I don't, and we can't just be throwing around, retiring numbers like they're just, random stuff. But I'm just naming off names that that comes to mind. Maybe D'Angelo Hall, maybe doubt it though. Clinton Portis, maybe. I'm just naming off random players, but I think for sure Daryl Green, Art Monk, London Fletcher, and I really think maybe Chris Cooley, maybe.
I would say, here's the thing. I would say you have to have a huge impact on this franchise, and do that in a successful time, unless you're like one of those great player, like you're a top 5 player in the league for 10 years. But like I don't think that guys like in the last 15-20 years, like I don't really know if anyone really deserved to get their jersey retired besides Sean Taylor. But some other guys out there, obviously I missed Art Monk. I think Charlie Taylor, his jersey should get retired. That's way back, but his jersey should get retired. And then Sonny Jurgensen, and those are the guys right there. Let me know if you guys have any others that I missed that you think their number should be retired. Like there's jersey numbers that are protected right now, and like Dan Snyder doesn't really want players to wear them, but like Khalid Hudson's wearing 47 right now, so like that's not a protected number, which is Chris Cooley's number. So I don't think he's gonna be I don't think his jersey is gonna get retired. But it's a good discussion because they've only before this year they had one jersey retired, and that's Sammy Bass. So I'm glad that they're retiring them because, like, if you're gonna have protected jerseys, you might as well just retire them.
Yeah, I agree too. Like if you're not gonna allow people to wear them, or you know what I'm saying, you might as well just retire them. So
Yeah, for sure. So really appreciate you coming on, Juan. Make sure you guys check him out. If you guys are watching this on the replay, I'll have the link in the description so you guys make sure to go check out Juan. Juan Gotti Talking Sports, great YouTuber. And yeah, excited for the game tomorrow. Let's hope that, it isn't a blowout. Maybe we can pull out the win and, honor Sean Taylor at halftime. Can't wait for that. Tomorrow should be about Sean Taylor. And we shouldn't talk, it should be nothing else. It should be about Sean Taylor, honoring him and his family. Appreciate you coming through, Juan. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Big Simple, Redskin, Jim. Let's see, Armin Brown, Philip B. Let's see, Tech Head, David Smith, Sergio, Darren, Elliott, David Smith. Everyone who came through. Appreciate you guys for coming through. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow after the game. Peace.
peace. Thank you for having me.